How to cite sources in APA style. For every essay or assignment where you're using outside sources of information, you will need to tell your reader where you found the information. Why? So that your reader can find the sources of information you're using and perhaps read your sources themselves. You will need to cite each source in two places. The in-text citation is short and will be integrated into the body of your paper or assignment. You can see examples of in-text citations by looking at academic journal articles. The reference is longer, comprehensive, and will appear in a list of references at the end of your paper or assignment. Here's what a completed reference looks like. Let's talk more about the reference. The first step when building a reference is always to identify the type of source you're building the reference for. You will need to include different information for different types of sources. Is the source electronic or paper? Is it from a book, an academic journal, a newspaper, or somewhere else? Can you find the author's name and the publication date? Once you know what type of source you're building a reference for, find a template to work off of. You can use the APA 7 manual or an APA guide from a reputable source, like a university. Here at NLC, we like to use Purdue University's online writing lab to help us with our references. Whether you're using the manual or an online guide, you will need to look through the options for your source type and choose the most appropriate template to work from. For this example, we will write a reference for an academic journal article. Now you're ready to slot in the information from your source. For journal articles, you will need to include the author or authors' last names and their first two initials if available. You can write up to 20 authors' names in this format. Next, you will write the article's publication year in brackets. Then comes the title of the article with only the first word and all proper nouns capitalized, as well as the first word in the subtitle if there is one. Then, in italics, you will write the title of the publication followed by the volume number. In brackets, add the issue number, then the page range of the article or other identifier if there is one. Finish off your reference with the article's DOI or permanent link. You may find that more digging is required to hone your reference for a particular source. For example, if a journal article has multiple authors, if a book has multiple editions, or if a web page has no author listed, you may need to check the guidelines on how to cite that type of source as well. Look up the information you need and slot it into the correct place in your reference. Finally, you should always review your reference and check that the spelling, punctuation, and formatting are all correct. All of the punctuation and formatting in a reference is important and will help your instructor identify your source correctly. Make sure that you are capitalizing only what needs to be capitalized, that you are using periods and commas appropriately, and that the parts of your reference that should be italicized are in italics. Once you are finished with your reference, make sure to apply a hanging indent so that the first line is flush with the left margin and the rest of the information is indented. This helps your reader to easily identify each new reference in your reference list. When you're finished with your entire list of references, don't forget to arrange them in alphabetical order so that your reader can easily find the reference they are looking for. Once you've built your reference for a source, putting together your in-text citation should be easy. It's just a matter of knowing which parts of your reference you will need to include in your in-text citation. If you are not including a direct quote from a source and are just paraphrasing or rephrasing the source, do the following. Find the author's name or the first part of your reference. If a source has no author, this will be the title of the source. Then find the publication year included in your reference. And that's it. You can either add the author's name and the year in brackets after your paraphrase, separating them with a comma, or you can include the author's name in a signal phrase before your paraphrase and simply add the year in brackets after the author's name. If you are including a direct quote from a source, you will also need to include the page number or numbers where the quote appears. So you need the same information as for a paraphrase, plus the page numbers, which will appear like this. Thank you for watching. For more help with citations and references, visit NLC's Writing Center, which can be found in your Brightspace courses under My NLC.